Hi there, Tom Romeo from PCS here to show you some of our new features in Traverse. You see we've got a new version 2.0. We're at build 127. Notice how I just logged in without going to the login screen. That's because I have this Azure VM set up to use Windows authentication. Now I just want to show you a new item that I entered in. We can enter, you can use any kind of item. If you could put a barcode on it, you can track it with Traverse. That's our motto. This happens to be a tool. You notice I'm logged in as John Doe. And we always allowed you to enter photos, but we now allow you to create and enter PDF documents so that if you had some kind of system that you wanted to store, let's say a user manual for an item, or you wanted to put in the hard document ID, you can upload documents. I'm going to show you how that works in a second. But that is a new feature, adding documents to an asset. Another new feature is this kit maintenance. So I don't have any kits created yet, so I'm going to create one just for show. Let's call it, and we'll say, so for this screen, the reason why the screen exists is, let's say you want to create a bunch of assets that have a bunch of child assets as kits that you want to distribute to someone. So for example, let's say you're FEMA, okay, and you want to put together a little disaster kit um, that you can use to deploy if you're sending workers out in some kind of disaster. Now, I don't necessarily have a disaster hardware in here, but let's say in this kit we need a hammer, okay, and I'm going to say we need one hammer. And let's say we need a wrench, right? And I'll add one wrench. And let's say we need a compressor. Okay. Now you notice how the hammer and the wrench has a quantity, whereas the compressor does not. And that's because the compressor is an asset, and the hammer and the wrench are entered into the system as inventory. Okay, so we would have, a certain number of hammers or wrenches that are a certain type entered in as inventory. We'd have a quantity associated with it because we don't necessarily need to serialize all of that data. So I'm going to save this kit. So now that I've saved the kit, what I'm going to do is create a brand new asset. We need to go find the kit. Okay, let's start over. So all of the items that you see in this box are going to become items on the brand new asset that I'm going to create from this page. So that's it. And now I'm going to click Create Asset. And essentially, it has now, if I go here and go home, it has created a brand new asset from that kit. And if you look at the family tree, you'll see that it's at this location, right? This is the name of the kit, right? This is the new asset ID I created. And it has these three child items already built on. So if I move this or check this kit out to somebody, then all of these items go out to that person. So if I check this kit out, to Daffy Duck and say it's going off premises, now You see how it's out to Daffy, even though Bugs owns it, and all of the items that are on this kit are now checked out to Daffy. If I click on that roofing hammer is inventory, so it's going to be associated with the kit, right? The compressor, however, see how it belongs to the kit? Whereas if I go back and find that kit, and I click on the compressor is an asset. So now you see that compressor, the current location is that kit, but you see it's checked out to Daffy Duck. Okay, so that's the new feature so that you can build kits and easily. It's much easier to build the kit this way than it would be for you to create an asset and then assign different amounts of inventory to it. Another new feature is, if we look at reports, if I just click on, I don't have a lot of data in this little test system, so I'm going to click on detail, and it's going to pull up an asset detail report, right? So you see how it's got every asset in my system, right? It's not a lot of stuff. I've got medical charts, I've got a brand new kit, so on and so forth, right? However, if I now say, I want to know all of the assets that were checked out, the very last transaction was a checkout. Now if I click detail, it's going to show me all of the assets that are currently checked out and when was it checked out. So you see how I've got the compressor and the kit. I just checked them out, so they've been checked out for 0 days because they were checked out today. All of these other items were checked out on these days, and this is how many days they've been out. So if you want to go ping somebody and say, hey, you've had it too long, you can click on this report and it'll give you that kind of information. So these are the brand new features that we built into Traverse. So if you download Traverse today, you're going to get build 127 and those new features are in there. Let's create a brand new asset and add an item to it. So I'm going to pick an asset type. I don't know. I'm going to say it's a medical chart. I'm going to give it an auto ID. I'm going to say that's obviously not my birthday. I'm going to say it put away location is there. Current location is there. No. I'm going to say it belongs to Elmer. Administrative. And now I could drag a photo here, but what I want to show you is if I take an item and drag it there, and maybe let me find another PDF. Okay, so I've got two little PDFs that happen to be on my computer that don't mean anything. Upload, save it, and now I've got two PDFs on this document, and if I want to, I could click on one of them and it shows me the PDF. So for example, if you were storing tax returns for a customer, or you're storing invoices or whatever, and you have them in PDF format, you can drag them onto the asset. So now you've got a barcode to find the physical folder, but you also have a PDF copy electronically stored right inside of Traverse. Just another cool thing that we did to make your life easier. We're going to do another really cool thing very soon, and that is going to be color coding file folders. So for example, if I click print here, you'll see the standard barcode label that we get, right? But we're going to add a brand new feature. So if I print this to a Dymo printer, it's going to print that out and I could stick that label on my file folder. But we're going to add a brand new feature that allows for a larger label that wraps around, let's say, the end binder and has different color codings um, so that you can organize your office not just with barcodes so you can scan things and know where they are, but also visually organize it. So here's a company that does this, like this company does it for a living. And we're not necessarily trying to compete with this company. Actually, we would work with this company because you see how they've got these different color-coded folders. So what we'll do is we'll allow you to print this type of stuff from Traverse, but then if you were to work with this company or a company like this company, they have this high density shelving system, right? And inside that see how that works, right? So what we're saying is the new feature in Traverse is going to print labels that look like this so that you can use this type of shelving system. And now you have the benefit of finding your data this way as well as using barcodes to find them like we do with our Traverse system. So that's it. Straightforward new features we added and new feature we're about to add.